Since starting my transition consultancy for entrepreneurs and career changes back in 2005, I've observed a variety of trends in the marketplace in terms of the kind of questions that people are asking me when they first meet me. So in 2005, between 2005 and 2010, everybody was asking, Rikke, what can I get with what I've got? i.e., what are my transferable skills? So I've done this up until now. So what is the best career or the best business for me going forward? Around 2013, 2012, the conversation started changing and people were asking, Rikke, how can I live the laptop lifestyle? What is the right location independent business for me? And how can I design and run an online business? Whereas now what everybody's asking me is, how do I find my passion? Now, here's the thing with trends. How do I find my passion? It's a trend just like everything else. And just like trends like mini skirts and hipster beards, the approach works for some and not for others. So if right now you're beating yourself up because you don't know what your passion is and you haven't found your passion, then please don't worry, because in this video, what I'll share is an approach that I tested over the last 10 years. And it's a different question to ask that has actually survived all the trends. So stay tuned and I will share with you exactly what the question you can ask yourself to be a lot more practical and pragmatic is. I also want to be clear up front that I don't have a problem with passion per se, but it is not where you start. Don't insist on using finding your passion as the place to start when you first start your transition journey. Because frankly, even though it might work for some, for most people, it means that you leave a lot of control out of your hands. And you almost feel like you're just going to have to sit here and wait until you somehow find your passion or passion finds you. And if you're like most of my clients, you're super smart, you're super impatient, and you just want to get going now. That's why there are a lot more pragmatic approaches for you when it comes to starting your transition journey. But here's the good news about passion. Even if you don't have it right now, it's something you can develop over time. But it's more like the end result rather than the starting point. So often when I give talks, people come up to me afterward and say, Rikke, you're so passionate. I wish I was like you and was passionate about what I was doing for a living. But here's the truth. That wasn't where I started out. The reason why I'm so passionate about my business and what I do is because over the last number of years, I've honed some serious skills so I can get my clients results. And actually, it's not just about me. It's about helping others. So the more skills you develop, the better you get at what you do, the more passionate, for lack of a better word, you actually get. But it's the end result of what you experience over time rather than the starting point. And also what I would say, I've observed two risks with insisting on using finding your passion as the starting point. Number one, a lot of people end up going down this self-development trail and end up navel-gazing forever in terms of, I got to find my passion. There's not necessarily anything wrong with that. But what I've just seen is that a lot of people get totally lost on that journey, or they never manage to translate their findings into something commercially viable or into something that makes sense to other people but themselves. I've also seen, having worked with a lot of people who spend a long time in careers or businesses they didn't enjoy, they see that question, finding their passion. They're like, oh my God, I wouldn't know passion if it stared me in the face. I've hated what I've done for the last 5, 10, 15 years. So it's almost like a cold slap in the face if you tell that kind of person that, you just need to find your passion, because they're so depleted of it that it's not a helpful approach. So if you have ended up in any of those categories, this approach I'm going to share in a minute is going to be a lot more helpful for you. Hi, I'm Rikke Hansen from Rikke.me. I help career changers and entrepreneurs in transition overcome overwhelm, nail down their best option, and as a result, design their ideal business, whether that's their first, their second, third plus business. Maybe it's because I'm Scandinavian by birth, but I have a strong sense of fairness and practicality. Or maybe it's because I spent the last 10 years personally advising over 600 people in transition on a one-to-one basis, and thousands more via stages and videos like this. But I've seen a lot of trends come and go. But what I've also seen at the same time is what actually works and what doesn't work when it comes to starting people on the transition journey. So what I want to share with you here is actually an approach, a question that makes a lot more sense and you get started with straight away, so you don't have any excuse to procrastinate. Because here's the thing, your business is not just about you. if you want to make it commercially viable and you actually want the sense of purpose that comes from helping other people and leave a legacy, then you gotta bake practicality into your transition. And that's exactly what I'll share with you how you can do. So you can get both commerciality, make money, and actually help people and find meaning. So let's get to that question. Here it is. I want you to ask yourself, what is the problem you most want to solve? What is the problem you most want to solve in the world? That is where you can get started straight away. Because you have a unique story. You have a unique perspective. You have a unique upbringing and a unique culture, a unique way of you looking at the world. You have skills, you have experiences, you have things that you really have an innate interest in. So as a result of that, look around. What problems need solving? For some of my clients, the problems they're solving is the fact that there's not a lot of sports gear that's designed specifically for women. They're all replicas for men. Another client is dealing with the fact that most workplaces are toxic, they're unproductive. Another client is developing really fancy bars and restaurants and hotel concepts for women over 40 who are still trendy because there's not a lot of other places for them to go. Some of my friends are solving problems along the lines of parents don't spend enough time with their children. So how do you get them to connect? How do you use technology to actually deal with the fact that there's more and more addiction in the world? And how do you prevent suicide? So do you see, it doesn't all have to be about saving children in Africa or curing AIDS. It can be any problem that makes sense to you, that exists out there in the world and that you uniquely want to solve. It could also be because somebody is currently solving that problem badly, or people are consistently asking you about that problem. But there's something out there that you can just choose and pick. And remember, you can always change and choose again. But I want you to think about, what is the problem you most want to solve? For me, the problem I want to solve is it hurts me so much when I see smart, super bright, big-hearted people who are in jobs and businesses they don't enjoy, but they're too overwhelmed to even decide or even know what else they could do and nailing down what that will be and then designing it and launching it. That's the problem I'm solving. That's what gives me so much passion and so much joy over time. So I want you to think about that for a moment. What is the problem you most want to solve in the world that potentially only you can solve your way, and that therefore is going to make sense to your clients, to the world, and that's going to make sense commercially? So if you want to get started in that transition, start looking at problems as being a good thing, because problems are your ticket out of the job you hate. Problems are the ticket out of the business you've outgrown. Problems are your ticket to entrepreneurship, to money, and to meaning. I really believe that making a dent in the universe means that you're solving real life problems for real people. I really believe that the key to successful entrepreneurship, to purpose and to passion, is to help other people solve the problems they want to pay to have solved. As well as a bigger purpose around, with the money you there make, you then invest in the bigger problems to solve, whether that be world hunger or peace or anything like that. But right now, I want you to think about what's the problem you most want to solve. Do a short list, cut it down. That's really how this works. But if you want to make a dent in the universe, you've got to find a real problem to solve. You do not make a dent in the universe by going off some tangent thinking about only what you want or only what your purpose is. You've got to bring it right back. The world is too crazy. The world needs you. If you live at this moment in time, you really offer it to the world. You owe it to the world to solve a real problem. And here's the deal. As long as you make sure it's a problem that people want to pay to have solved, it's commercially viable. So how good is that? Now over to you, because right now, with this approach, there's no procrastination. You don't have to wait around to find your passion or to somehow your passion finds you. This approach, what problem do you most want to solve? You can get started straight away. So go out there and find a problem to solve. So I want you to take action straight away. Comment below this video as in, what is the problem you most want to solve in the world? Let me know. Subscribe for more videos and I'll see you in the next video. Now go out there and solve some real world problems and get your transition off to a flying start at the same time. Thank you.